Hello and welcome back to the Fish Locker. This video is for our week-long fishing trip to the island of Soroya in Northern Norway, where we hope to get involved in some of the best cold water sea fishing in the world. Let's go! We have arrived. Chris and I are staying at the Big Fish Adventure Camp at Hasvik on Soroya. That is right up in the north of Norway. We've just finished our induction with Eric, one of the guides, and we are just getting settled into the accommodation. Believe it or not, it is 11:30 at night. Because we are right up inside of the Arctic Circle, we actually have 24 hours of daylight at this time of year. Yeah, the plan is now that we're going to get all settled out, we're going to go for a quick walk about in a second. I'm just going to show you the accommodation. We have got wash and wet room in there. Chris is just unpacking his treasure trove of
the chaos.
Lures and rods and bits and pieces. Yeah, there's always a little bit of nervousness when you're travelling with all your own fishing gear that none of it's been damaged and all of it's made and we've got everything. Yeah, so that's what we're doing at the moment. We're just unpacking everything. There is a shower room with sauna, another bedroom. I am upstairs. Just stunning layout, start to finish. Another bath and bed. So this is going to be our base of operations. I have just unpacked all of my fishing gear. And a lot of it is the same gear that we use in the UK, but the lures are a little bit bigger. The boats that we're going to be using are going to be some of those. We'll have a walk down and have a look in a second. Yeah, this is brilliant. I am excited. This is my first trip to Norway. I've had two trips cancelled actually. One of them for work and one of them for COVID. So yeah, this has been a long time coming. Good morning. We managed to get a couple of hours sleep last night. It was an unusual situation to be in just because it was bright daylight all night. And Chris and I now, we're heading down to the restaurant that's attached to the camp to go and get some breakfast. The camp that we're at, the Big Fish Adventure Camp in Hasvik in Soroya, the reason why Chris and I ended up coming here was we knew the fish that we wanted to catch. We had a bucket list of species. We did a load of research online. I managed to actually get speaking to one of the guides here, Eric, and then spoke to quite a few anglers from the UK who'd fished here already. And this place just ticked every box. This place seemed to be the best for us. What I will do is I will tag information into the description of the video about this camp and what we're doing. But in the meantime, we're going to go and get some food in us, get our gear on the boat, and then hopefully go and do some fishing. There we go. That was nice. We're going to go down now, get all of our gear moved onto the boat, and get ready for the first day at sea. We were just discussing there, it flips it all on its head. Usually when we're going fishing we're fighting to get up early to get out for first light, because there isn't a first light here now. It doesn't matter what time you sail. We could sail it, we could take an easy day, go to the shops when it opens, get everything on the boat and come back at 2 in the morning. It'd still be as light as what it is now. Let's go. This is Eric. Chris and I are here for the week. We have chartered Eric to guide us. I am not so naive or arrogant to believe that I would know exactly what I was doing to come out here to a new place fresh off the bat. So Eric is going to be cutting down our learning curve. I have been absolutely blagging his head for probably the last half an hour on the way out here, and he's brought us to what's a coalfish market, which Chris looks to have found there. Eric has just been talking through the gear that we're going to use. Chris is speed jigging at the front, and then we're in the best part of 50 or 60 metres. I'll come round and I'll just show you the unit. These are marking fish on the bottom. Now the methods that you'll be using for this are the big soft plastics or jigs.
Yeah, the sand eels from 100 to 200 grams and small perks.
Brilliant.
Same weight.
And the size of fish that you're getting, and you're saying they've just arrived in the last couple of weeks, I'm assuming they're seasonal, we're looking at anything between like 2 kilos and 6 kilos. It's a little tusk.
We'll keep him as
it's a new species
bait.
for you.
Yeah.
This is a nice big fish bait.
We very occasionally we do get those in the UK up in like the northeast. It looks like a stumpy ling. It's called a tusk, or they call them a lump fish as well. Just yeah, if you come in. This is what Chris is fishing. Yeah, I'm going to try and put in a jig on as well. I'm going to rig a camera up to fish and see if I can't pull one out. But yeah, throughout the day, Eric has been telling us that we're going to fish a couple of different marks for a few different types of fish. We will explain those and the methods, the rigs, the tactics, everything as we're doing it. Just find some fish now. As usual, the first order of the day is to secure some fresh bait. So I volunteered to fish with tinsels for some of the smaller coley. Well, yeah, you guessed it right, straight away, little colics. And these are perfect size to keep as bait.
Excellent.
For anybody watching, the way you differentiate these between pollock is that coalfish have got a straight lateral line, whereas pollock have got a bit of a bump in it. Thank you. One little one and one back to front.
These are also.
Coalfish by far is the most abundant species around. In places you simply cannot get away from them. There is also no limit on them, so it's often the bait of choice. There's your haddock. There's your coley. Spot them a mile away the difference between cod, but also they've got different fins. They've got a big one on the top and they've got a thumbprint on the side there. Eric has said that we've got enough bait now, so we're going to change over the rigs and go and try another little mark, because all of the coleys that we're catching on here are all only small. I'm happy with that, I think. Just a bonus fish.
There we go.
Tell you what, they're good looking fish though.
Yeah,
Nice.
There's a lot of fish. I see there's some bigger ones there.
Nice colorations on them.
Ah, okay.
That's better. A long way up now. I'm trying not to talk too much because I don't want to talk it off.
They feel good?
Yeah, this one feels good.
Don't feel massive, but it's big. It's the biggest fish I've had today. Pick it off there, mate. There we go. And there's the jig that caught it. I don't know what you would give that, £7 or £8. I don't know, if I caught it in the UK I'd say it was 12. They're all fin perfect, aren't they? There's not a mark on them.
No.
Yeah. All this is here is it's a speed jig. By the shape of these, the reason we can get away with a lighter jig, this is a 120 gram. We're at 100 metres of water. If I was using a slow jig, I would have to use more weight. Because of the shape, it's harder to get it down to the seabed. The tackle that I've got, it's a Shimano Speedmaster, and this is a Fathom low profile 400. think the braid that I've got on here is £50. That's a better fish. One of the beauties, I guess, of fishing with this method like this is you ain't bullying them to the boats. So by the time they get here, they're all fit to go back. Straight in there.
Finally.
What you can't see, what I'll show you in a second, is Chris was just dropping down. He's just said that looking at the sounder, it looks like this fish that I'm bringing up has brought fish with it. So he's dropped down and hooked into some of it that looks like a different fish altogether. Nice fat one. There you go.
This is perfect eating fish if you want some.
We're happy enough. It's only our first day. We're not. There's the rod, there's the reel, there's the fish. The coloration on them is just stunning. They're absolutely perfect. And like I was saying, it because you've fought it gentle all the way up, should go back nice. And the fish that Chris was fighting turned out to be an absolute giant of a coalfish. That really is an absolute stunner, mate. Well done.
Fat it is.
I'm not actually using this jig as it is designed. Speed jigs are meant for a fast retrieve. I'm using it to get to the seabed faster and to get away with using a lighter braid and just bouncing it on the seabed, as that is where the fish are. Just by the skin.
I'm gonna stay here a little bit more.
They are all like a stunning coloration, aren't they? When we got amongst the fish, it literally was a fish a drop with the jigging gear. As we were fishing lighter balanced gear, every fish was good sport and all were safe to be returned. Going back, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they...
Fair and square on the jig. Bad one?
There's a cracker.
Oh, nice.
Get that.
Get in this boat, yo.
Get that low.
Oh, yes. Come on. Now that is a special one. That is a definite PB haddock on a jig as well. That's worth a photo. I'm a little bit speechless with that. I wasn't expecting it to be a haddock. Yeah.
It's very big. And,
I don't hear that enough.
Biggest one I've seen here.
I don't hear that enough, unfortunately. Yeah. There you go. They are still the same. They are still a member of the cod family. You can see because it's got a little bit of a bib there, but it has a different mouth. It has a mouth that's more underneath and more of like a grubbing mouth. Give this a try.
Guy here, I said it so it's barely holding up.
It was a donkey choke on lure like that. And it dropped straight into it.
I've switched to a slow jig now from a speed jig, and it's a bit heavier, so I'm losing a few more fish. I'm having to be a bit more gentle with them, just from shaking the head. Just knocks the jig out. But yeah, it's fish and drop is absolutely crazy.
Oh, wolffish!
The teeth on it. I'll tell you what, they're so slippy as well. Look at that thing. Jig.
Stunning fish.
Lovely fish, yeah.
They're all, every single one of them, is fin perfect and got lovely coloration on. Eric was saying now that we've fished for cod and coalies for a while, we're going to go and try something else. The area where we were, the tide had started to drop off. Same as like when we're fishing in the UK. It's best to fish the best conditions at the mark where you're at for the fish that are there. This is why having Eric with us has been absolutely valuable. Because although we know that the fishing had dropped off because it was slack water, we didn't know where was the best place to go after that. Brought us to another spot, and now we're targeting halibut and big cod in a different method. We're drifting over an area with a dead bait down in the bottom, and at the same time casting big lures. Got it, have you?
That'll be the one.
That'll be the one.
I pulled my line up.
Horrible when it shakes its head, isn't it?
Okay.
Wow. Well done.
Great fish.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
138. Excellent.
They're incredible. Well done, mate.
Cheers. I'm knackered.
I can see your arms shaking.
It is heavy.
Which way are you going head first over that side?
Ready?
Oh, fantastic. The rain has finally eased long enough for me to talk to you. We've moved on from the place where we're fishing for halibut just because the tide's changed there also. This is why having a guide today, having Eric today, has just been invaluable. He's known that the marks to fish the best of the tide. It would take me and Chris 3 or 4 days to work all this out, whereas we managed to land straight on fish again. The scenery around here is absolutely spectacular too. We've just come past a massive, great big breeding colony of puffins. So we've seen puffins, little hawks, razorbills, fulmars, skewers, the lot, all feeding on sand eels, which seems to be what everything else is feeding on. The area now that we're fishing onto is a little bank of sand, and we're going to hope to catch some place. Again, like I said, because everything's feeding on sand eels, instead of using worm baits like we would do normally in the UK, we're going to use fish baits. We're going to use little strips of mackerel belly or little strips of the coalfish that we caught earlier. Are you ready? That's a fair size place, that. I'll tell you what, mate, that's a fair size place, that. Go on, open up. Calm down. Yeah. Yeah, proper dinner plate size one. Well, that's just ruined my place fishing in the UK for the rest of my life. I've had naught but snags and like had to change rigs and change drifts and that. Well, now sorted, but it came right in the end. Can't even describe for you how mammoth the size of this place is. It's just like an absolute giant. I don't think we'd ever see anything like this in the UK again. Slab. Flipping size of them. You can't even get back far enough to give it justice, can you? Yeah, look, you can see. Just a little size one with a little bit of collie belly. They are just something special then. What the size of my hand on it? It's just unbelievable. This is just, it's just getting unmanageable now. I just can't keep the camera dry. Every single time I turn it on and try and clean the lens, it gets wet again. Put that £6.12. Well, I can see her. That is a nice place, that. Nicely done. Wasn't much holding that in. Wasn't much holding that in, was there? It's two fish that piece of collie's had now. Incredible. It's the size of it is just that one's just stunning. I mean, look at the size of that tail. You gonna have a guess? 61. I'm gonna say 61.
I say 62, 63.
Scare weird. That's just you can't say anything else other than that. That is flipping massive. They are just massive.
Many?
And we're back. There we are, we're back alongside now. It is 11:15, isn't it? 11:15 at night and it's still bright daylight. just Eric, I can't thank you enough. It's been absolutely amazing today. I mean, I can speak for myself. I've broken 3 PBs, 3 personal bests, and I know Chris has done the same. Your help today has been invaluable. We've got quite a lot of tidying down to do, and we've got some filleting as well, so we're going to get going. The boat is tidied down, the fish is filleted, our dry suits are up drying, ready for tomorrow. It's time for some food and bed. One of the things that yesterday did for us when we fished with Eric was it pointed out the shortfalls in the tackle that we brought from the UK. The beautiful thing about here is they actually have a store for all of the lures and things that you would need. So you can rent your rods. We rented flotation suits because of the luggage that we brought with us. We didn't have the space to take it, and also for a really reasonable price. They've got exactly what you need right here. So you can rent the rods, buy the tackle, and rent the flotation suits. So that's exactly what we did. Chris and I then did 3 days self-drive fishing, building on what we had learned on our guided session with Eric. Yeah, there you go. Oh yes, I am over the moon with this one. It's a clunker. I'm going to take this one and fillet it off. I'll upload these trips in a separate video and link it into the video description. Our 5th day we were back out with Eric on another guided session to try and tick off some of the more elusive species. For some of the teeth that I'm looking at in here, some of the baits that we've been getting ragged about over the last couple of days, I am positive that it's these that's doing it, just by there, because it's individual strip marks through the bait. And I don't know what weight you'd give that. You'd give that probably about £15, wouldn't you? It is. It's just like a hoofing flounder, isn't it? Back down it goes.
It's a lively one.
It's good at shallow water as well, isn't it?
Yeah, now we're on 17 meters. Good one.
Nice one. Thanks.
I think it's not dangerous if you just can get it out.
See the treble right inside of its mouth. And teeth or something else. Yeah. No, it's not. It's bedded back in right at the back. If you've got a pair of pliers, I can get it out. There you go. Sustainability is a major priority with the fishery here. So they have a strict slot size for harvesting halibut, only taking fish between 85 centimetres and 130 centimetres. Everything else is catch and release. Size of the tail. Straight down that way. Just stopped off to get a little bit more bait, and we just had some cracking sport on the coalies. I've just had a couple of around about 10 or 12 pounder, and Chris has bent into a nice one here as well. Got good colour. Coming up slightly sideways. Got a real solid stamp for these, and I tell you what, they do scrap. During a weather window, we were also able to do some really deep water fishing. This is where an electric reel would come in handy. Swing around here, the colour's washed out on it, but that is something special. They're beautiful looking fish. And apparently they're delicious eating, so Eric tells us.
And these spikes are poisonous.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you told me that afterwards. Oh, Brahma mate, well done.
Nice one.
Nearly empty. Taken on the circle hook. Beautiful looking fish. And he's been eating shrimps.
Ling!
Come all the way to Norway to catch your favourite fish from Cornwall. And Chris has had a ling. There you go, from 200 plus metres. Well done, mate.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Trying to get spikes. Apparently they're poisonous, but yeah, he's definitely seen better days.
Big eye redfish. Not bad for a first attempt. Bottom, top, cheeks. There is something truly magical about this place. It is 1:45 in the morning. We have just finished all the cleaning down and the filleting. Just look at that for a backdrop. I've managed to get some fantastic suntan lines. Yeah, I'm wearing long johns and I'm getting sunburnt. Shower and bed, I think. A few hours sleep, then up for breakfast at the restaurant. Literally only 3 minutes walk from the accommodation and with the local shop on the way. Well stocked, but we mainly used it for our packed lunches when out on the boat. It's our last day's fishing and we've been really fortunate. We've had some stunning weather and it's just started to turn a little bit. Sneaking out a couple more fish before we have to head back. We're having a think last night about what we'd do differently when we come back, what we would bring, what we wouldn't bring. A nice calling, isn't it? And I wouldn't bring anything less than 100 gram. I brought a little bit of scratching gear as well to try and do some mixed species fishing. And there's just simply the sheer volume of fish down there, like of cod, of coley. If you're dragging a bait on the bottom, there's a fish called a tusk, and there must be like 10 to per square metre down there, because you can't have a bait on the bottom without catching one of them. So big hooks, strong hooks. The lightest line I needed to bring with me this time was probably £40, and that was the leader on my jigging rod. Mark Corley just before it goes to the surface. Swum round Chris's line there. Clothes as well. Don't bring any warm weather clothes. Even on the days when it's been nice and sunny, I've still had long johns on. First day that we were here, it was Baltic, wasn't it? We were freezing. And also, I wouldn't bother bringing flotation suit or waterproofs, because you can rent them from the lodge for next to nought, and they're not going to end up stinky in your bag or taking up space. I'll just rent them. Something else to mention: you need warm, waterproof footwear for one on the boat. Also, as this shows you, is the weather changes round here like that. If you think you've got a bit of a weather window, take it, go fishing, because if you're waiting for it, it might never come, it'll change. Put the camera away. We have been really fortunate in that we haven't missed any days to weather. We have had to call it off a little bit early one day because it was absolute torrential rain, but we've enjoyed it. I was talking to one of the guides and I said to him, I said, what mistakes do people make usually when they come here? As he was talking, I was thinking, yeah, I've definitely made that one. People bring too much gear. Like, I'll probably be leaving 70% of the stuff that I brought with me this time at home next time. I brought loads of rods. I didn't need to bring that many. This speed jigging rod and reel has counted for probably 80% of the fish that I've caught. I would bring a speed jigging setup, a heavy spinning setup, and a 30-50 rod and an appropriate reel. I brought a 2030, and my 2030 solid carbon didn't have the backbone in it to set the hook into a halibut. I lost the halibut because it didn't have the strength in it. Both Chris and I have fished probably 12 hours minimum every day, and we haven't lost any gear. The seabed just seems to be really, really clean sand for most of it. So yeah, I would bring less. Next time I'll come out, I'll just bring probably 100, 120 and 150 speed jigs, which are these. And I would bring a couple of big perks, like 250 to 500 gram perks with big trebles on the back for fishing for cod, because I had that massive cod was on a perk, and I've had quite a few of the good fish on them perks. The fish that we've been catching, we had some targets in our mind of what we wanted to catch. The reason that we did the fishing like we did a guided trip on the first day. I'd planned that so that the local guides around here, this is their bread and butter. They know exactly what's going on, what lures are working, where the bait fish are, what methods are working. Chris and I could have figured that out, but it would have taken us 3 or 4 days. He'd managed to give us a head start, cut down our learning curve. We then did 3 days of our own where we just self-drove and we had a blast. If you're born after 1980, you will need an RYA, ICC or equivalent, and each day you're required to complete a pre-sailing checklist and a catch report afterwards. It's all dead simple. I'd also recommend getting the Navionics chart and the Windy app. And then we had another guided day, and the reason why I'd done it that way around was because if there was any of the species, if we hadn't quite got it right, we were nearly at the end of our trip, and I thought this is the chance of us to get a specialties fish if we can't find one, and we did that. We didn't manage to find any redfish when we were fishing by ourselves. Fished with Eric again, got us straight on the mark, and we had some stunning redfish. So yeah, I would do at least one guided day on your trip here, if not two. Also, one of the reasons why we chose this camp was because of the location. I've been speaking to a lot of other guys. There's loads of camps all around Norway. This one up in this area is quite sheltered. We haven't missed any days for weather. There are guys only maybe 10 miles away in other directions. They've missed, well, one of them's missed 2 days and one of them's missed 1 day. Yeah, we've always managed to be able to find somewhere like this to go. Also, they've got bigger boats. A lot of the camps in Norway just have the small tinny open top boats. This camp has got these boats, these bigger ones, these more seaworthy ones, so we've been able to get out in a little bit rougher weather. Also push it a little bit further. Getting here was an absolute doddle. In fact, it was harder for me to get from Cornwall to Heathrow than it was to get from Heathrow to here. We're within walking distance of the airport. In fact, we can see the runway from our accommodation window. One of the things is though, twofold I guess, 24 hours of daylight. When I come back, I'm going to be bringing a mask, like a sleeping mask, just because I struggled to sleep when it was bright daylight. And also, there is a restaurant that's attached to the camp and a shop within 300 yards of it. But occasionally, because we were fishing until 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes, we missed the shop. So I would bring some protein shake or something like that with me. Or also, if your lads are coming out here, I would bring a vacuum packer. They've got a filleting station and they've got a freezer for you, but yeah, a vacuum packer. What I will do is I will put a list of all the tackle and kit that I would recommend people bringing out here and how to do it, and I'll put it in here to the video. I'm probably going to have to put the camera away because we have got a squall coming right now. We've come back and we're just fishing outside the breakwater of the harbour to try and get Chris a wolf fish. And what I've done is I've just made up a little dab rig with like a spoon and a little hook, and I've caught a baby halibut. Yeah, I was hoping for a dab, but that's just as cool as well. Tell by the shape of it what it is. Like, it's not a flounder and it's not a dab, and also it's got quite a lot of little teeth in there. Obviously it's massively undersized. I tell you what, they've got some bite force even at this size. I'll give a photo of this and I'll put it back. That's the last of the checks done. The boat has been cleaned and fueled. Our time here in Soroya has come to an end. Finished clearing the luggage out of the rest of the house and make our way to the airport. If there's anything that I've missed in the video, I will try and put it in the description. But yeah, from the week that we've spent here, we have barely scratched the surface on what is, without a doubt, a world-class fishery. I think we can definitely be coming back here again. This has been lovely. All I can say is thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Likewise.
And we look forward to seeing you again.
Electronic devices must be switched off.
I hope you enjoyed joining us. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best, and we'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the Fish Locker YouTube channel, where we have hundreds of videos from our adventures just like this one. We upload new videos every Sunday evening, so don't forget to click subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Let's go!